On October 21st, 1996, just 200 feet from where Mary and Thomas Peterson lay brutally murdered in their isolated Pine Ridge cabin, a set of deep, distinct tire tracks pressed into the soft, rain-soaked earth. Tracks that belonged to a heavy-duty off-road vehicle Jacob Thorne, the accused, never owned. Tracks that were meticulously photographed, logged in police report number 741-A, and then completely ignored. In this investigation, I am going to show you exactly what the official record does not tell you, what the evidence actually says, and why this case is not over. No speculation. We document everything. The initial suspect. The Pine Ridge community was small, tight-knit, and utterly shaken by the brutal slayings of Mary and Thomas Peterson. They were a young couple, just in their mid-30s, city transplants seeking a quieter life, and their dreams ended violently on that crisp autumn morning. Their bodies were discovered by a morning hiker on October 22nd, 1996, inside their remote cabin, a scene of unimaginable horror. The local sheriff's department, overwhelmed and under-resourced, moved with a speed that many later called suspicious. Within 72 hours, Jacob Thorne, a 60-year-old recluse who lived down the winding dirt road, was arrested. Thorne was known to have a bitter, ongoing property dispute with the Petersons. Fences had been moved, accusations of trespassing exchanged, and more than one heated argument had spilled out onto the gravel lane. The motive, the police quickly announced, was clear. Neighborly animosity spiraled into rage. The community breathed a collective sigh of relief. The monster, they believed, had been caught. The lead detective, Robert Maxwell, told the Pine Ridge Sentinel on October 26, 1996, that they had their man. The case was closed, and justice would be swift. Thorne, after hours of interrogation, eventually confessed. He claimed he'd entered the cabin in a fit of rage, grabbed a hunting knife, and attacked the couple. His words sealed his fate, or so everyone thought. But was it really that simple? The official narrative painted a picture of a clear-cut case, neatly tied with a confession and a motive everyone could understand. Yet even in the immediate aftermath, whispers began. Local journalist Sarah Green, in an article for the Valley Standard on November 8, 1996, noted the astonishing speed of the arrest, contrasted sharply with the lack of physical evidence linking Thorne directly to the crime scene, beyond his coerced statement. Thorne's knife, the one he described, was never found, and the Petersons' cabin, supposedly the scene of a violent struggle, lacked any defensive wounds on the victims or significant forensic trace linking Thorne to the immediate scene, beyond the general chaos. This was the first thing that simply did not add up. What the record actually shows. Now, let's look at what the official record actually shows. Remember those tire tracks? Police report number 741-A, dated October 22nd, 1996, precisely documents deep tire impressions, unusual tread pattern, approximately 200 feet northwest of residence. These tracks led into the dense woods, not towards Thorne's property, and analysis, detailed in the same report, identified them as belonging to a specific model of an early 90s Ford Bronco, a vehicle Thorne did not own. He drove an old pickup truck, a detail verified by multiple neighbors and documented in Thorne's vehicle registration, file number 30682. This critical piece of evidence was photographed, measured, and then, inexplicably, dismissed as unrelated logging activity. Logging activity in the dense, privately owned forest 200 feet from a murder scene the morning after. How does a detective look at that and walk away? Then there's the confession itself. Jacob Thorne's signed statement, obtained after 42 hours of continuous interrogation on October 25, 1996, describes the use of a long hunting knife with a black handle. However, the autopsy report, authored by Dr. Eleanor Vance and filed on October 27, 1996, specifies that both victims sustained blunt force trauma consistent with a heavy, angular object, followed by numerous deep lacerations. The lacerations were consistent with a serrated blade, but the initial and fatal injuries were from blunt force. The report also meticulously detailed shards of what appeared to be dark, industrial-grade plastic embedded in Thomas Peterson's skull. Thorne's confession failed to mention any blunt object, any industrial plastic, or any detail that truly aligned with the actual cause of death. He was describing a different murder, and it gets worse. A witness, Martha Jenkins, a local birdwatcher, submitted a statement on October 23, 1996, police report number 74-C. She reported seeing a dark-colored Ford Bronco, not a pickup truck, speeding away from the vicinity of the Peterson cabin on the night of the murders, approximately 10 o'clock in the evening. She even noted a distinctive damaged headlight. This statement, matching the tire tracks, was buried. It was marked unverified and low priority, despite directly corroborating the forensic evidence. The contradiction made undeniable. What was ruled an accident left marks that accidents do not leave. This wasn't just overlooked, it was actively ignored. The forensic and legal breakdown. This case is a textbook example of systemic failure, showcasing exactly why modern investigative practices are so critical. First, let's talk about Lacard's exchange principle, the idea that every contact leaves a trace. The tire tracks, the unique soil composition clinging to them, the specific type of industrial plastic shards found in the victim, these were the silent witnesses, screaming the truth. Instead, investigators fixated solely on Thorne's known animosity and rushed to a confession. They dismissed the physical evidence that challenged their chosen narrative, failing to connect the tire tracks to the eyewitness account and failing to pursue a vehicle that was clearly at the scene. Second, the interrogation of Jacob Thorne stands as a stark warning about coerced confessions. 42 hours of continuous questioning, sleep deprivation, isolation. These are classic tactics known to induce false admissions, particularly in vulnerable individuals. The National Institute of Justice guidelines, published in 2008, explicitly detail the dangers of such methods. Thorne confessed to a narrative that simply did not match the crime scene, a fact that should have immediately flagged his statement as suspect, not as a conclusive answer. Any modern interrogation would have paused, re-evaluated, and focused on verifiable details. Third, the chain of custody and evidence integrity in this case were compromised from the very beginning. The unrelated logging activity dismissal of the tire tracks effectively broke their chain of evidence. Crucial forensic opportunities were lost. Modern methods, like advanced digital enhancement of the original tire track photographs, could potentially reveal unique identifiers on those tires today. Advanced soil analysis could pinpoint the exact geographic origin of the earth found in those tracks, potentially leading to a specific vehicle or location. The failure was not a lack of evidence, but a lack of will to follow where the evidence led. This is not incompetence. This is a pattern. Mindset shift. This case, like so many others hidden within dusty archives, forces us to confront a chilling reality. A closed case is not always a solved one. The justice system, designed to protect and serve, can, through pressure, oversight, or outright tunnel vision, become the very instrument that buries the truth. When we see a case labeled solved in old newspaper clippings or official reports, we are often only seeing the official story, the narrative that fit the available frame. We learn that sometimes the killer isn't the one behind bars. Sometimes the real monster is still out there, because those sworn to uphold the law chose to ignore the inconvenient truths, the quiet screams of overlooked evidence. It changes how you understand justice. It changes how you understand what solved really means. Every single detail matters. Every single case deserves a second look. Subscribe to Cold Docket, because next week we uncover the chilling disappearance of the Brighton Five, a case the authorities declared a runaway pact, but the evidence tells a far darker story.